nigga said fricatica. Oh shit. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Woo. In 1 second, I'm gonna start in a couple. Reading something real quick. All right, all right. Shalom, shalom. I like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kol Haloim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered abroad, the Akim and the Aqua that's listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing that the lesson is edifying. It's the brother Shawab Amawan back at you with another lesson. And going into the title, all right, you women are in trouble and are about to be humbled, ravished. All right, and shalom, brother Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Barakatah to you and your household. All right, so going into this title, right, these women here in Babylon the Great, all right, they're about to be humbled on a serious note. Okay, these women they're in straight trouble, and as a matter of fact, the scriptures talk about that, right? Let's start off with that. This is Isaiah 32 and 9, and it reads, "Rise up, you women that are at ease." Hold on real quick. Let me open these up. There you go. It says, "Rise up, you women that are at ease," right? It says, "Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. You careless daughters, give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come," right? So rise up, you women that are at ease. Yeah, because these women here in Babylon the Great, they're at ease. All right, they're comfortable with how Esau has made them, you know, be able to usurp authority over a man, right? Scriptures say that I have made a new thing on the earth, that I will that a woman shall compass a man, right? So they're comfortable in the state that they're in right now, right? These women are walking around like they goddesses, even though they're not, right? They have a lot of power, all right, because Esau has put them on the pedestal and given them that power, all right, to, you know, be able to demonize the Israelite man. See, the woman is used as a weapon to demonize, all right, you so-called Negroes, Latino, and Native American men, okay? So they're at ease with that, right? You have all these programs that help women, right? They'll find a way to put you through school, you know, even when you're at your worst state of the worst time in your lives, right? They'll find a way to put you through college, put you through these little programs to get you good jobs. All right. All of that was designed, all right, to help these women here in Babylon the Great, all right, especially you so-called, Negro, Latino, and Native American women, because again, you are used to demonize the Israelite man. All right. So Esau gives you everything you need. All right. And as a matter of fact, all you have to do is read the Willie Lynch letters, all right, which that was written years, you talk about decades, centuries back, right? Century back, right? And it was made to basically fit the criteria that's happening now. You see, it was working in those times also, all right, but it was going to be the most effective here in Babylon the Great in the days that we're living in right now. You see, and again, that's why these women think that they're superior over men. That's why these women get everything on this side. They have the law, right? That's on their side. Esau's on their side. You see, and they love Daddy Esau at the end of the day. You see, that's why they'll be quick to use this system against you Israelite men when they have to. Okay. But the time is coming that all of that is about to be put down to an end. It's about to be put down to naught. All right. And you're going to realize that Esau was also putting you in a trick bag, right? As a matter of fact, when you keep reading, matter of fact, go up a little bit, right? Isaiah 32 and 5, right? Let's take it from the top, actually. Let's take it from the top, right? It says, Isaiah 32 and 1, it says, behold, a king shall reign in righteousness, right? It says, and princes shall rule in judgment, and the man shall be as a hiding place from the wind and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. Yeah, so a man, all right, the Lord said he's going to make a man more precious than fine gold, right? So in these last days, a valuable man to you women will be a man of the Lord, you see, and he's going to be a hiding place from the wind, a hiding place, right? From the wind represents destruction. Okay. So the Lord, all right, if you're one that is favored by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, all right, he's going to give you, all right, a man of the Lord to be able to hide you from the destruction that's to come. All right. The rest of these women, they're not going to be able to hide, man. They're actually going to be destroyed. Okay. In this destroying wind that's about to come, right? Whether it be the thermonuclear missiles, right? Whether it just be the destruction of Esau that's going to be brought upon Babylon the Great through Jacob's trouble, right? Through famine, okay? Whether it be, you being put down by the sword, which that goes back to Jacob's trouble, right? See, the Lord is going to give the women, all right, that are doing their job according to scripture, all right, they're going to be well protected by a man of the Lord. All right. So a man of the Lord is what you need in these last days. And these women, all right, walk around acting like their shit don't stink, right? Like they don't need a man. All right. Like they can do good, all right, by themselves, or they could do bad by themselves. Right. They'll always tell you, I don't need no man. I don't need anybody in my life to have me succeed. Okay. Because the success that they chase after, right, is all vain at the end of the day, man. See, when a man of the Lord is around them in their presence, they don't chase after that success, right? Because this is a success to have a man of the Lord on your side, man. All right, because the Lord is what hears the prayer of the man, right? And then the woman. See, the Lord deals with the man before the woman, right? That's how the order is. If you read 11 and 3 in 1 Corinthians, it tells you the order, right? It goes from Yahweh to Yahushua, then man, then goes down to woman, you see? So in order for your prayers to be heard, unless you're an elect lady, all right, and you're doing the will of the Lord without a man, all right, he ain't going to be listening to any of your prayers, man. It's that plain and simple, all right? But it's even more stronger, all right, when you have a man of the Lord, because the Lord's going to listen to that man's prayers, all right, to protect his woman, you see? So it's important again to have that man of the Lord, right? That's right. This is First Timothy 5:6, and it reads, "But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth." Yeah, and that's what these women are about. They all live in pleasure. They much rather have pleasures of sin for a season than to suffer with the people of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. You see, everything is about having fun. Girls just want to have fun, right? If you're not fun with it, these women ain't dealing with you. They'll kick you to the curb. Okay. And that's why in these last days, you're about to be humbled and you're about to realize that Esau had you in a trick bag, man. All right. Because again, it reads right here, it says, "And the eyes of them that see shall not be dim, and the ears of them that shall hear, so like, and the ears of them that hear shall hearken, and the heart also of the rash shall understand knowledge, and the tongue of the stammerers shall be ready to speak plainly." All right, so let's read those two in NLT. It says, "Then everyone who has eyes will be able to see the truth, and everyone who has ears will be able to hear it." And it really pertains to you women. Okay, because when you hey, scriptures say, right, what is that, Micah, let me grab that real quick, Micah 7:10, right? And it reads, "Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, Where is thy Lord? Where is the Lord Yahweh thy power? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets." Yeah. So the time is going to come when these women going to realize, all right, that they actually did need us, man. You see, if they have any type of damn wisdom, all right, because we know that the woman has been deprived from wisdom at the end of the day, man. So most of these women can't even think straight. All right. They established their own righteousness, their own wisdom. They established the wisdom of this world, Esau's wisdom. All right. And that's why most of these women are walking around so proudful in these last days, man, because they're coming in the wisdom of Esau. You see, it says, brother put up, oh shit, I just did something. What did I just do? Hold on. I did something stupid over here. Okay. All right, there you go. Right. So let me read 2nd Ezra 8:50 GNTA. It says, "The people of this world who have lived their lives in pride and arrogance will suffer many things in the last days." Yeah. And most of these people are going to be women, because there's more women than men on planet Earth. You see, there's literally right now, like the probability is literally like 100 women to 1 man, yo, dead ass. All right. Even when the scriptures talk about 2/3 being put down, right? Those 2/3, most of those 2/3 are going to be women. Okay. So another reason why you women are in trouble. Okay. So it says, Proverbs 7:10, it says, and through 12, it says, "And behold, there met him a woman with an attire of a harlot and subtle of heart. She is loud and stubborn. Her feet abide not in her house. Now is she without." Now, hold on. I know what he's trying to break. It's not coming out. Oh shit! Why did that shit just come out like that? What the hell? That's probably when I just pressed that button. That's that $ shit. Pay no mind to that shit. There's a $ that I pressed by accident, and the precept you put didn't come out all the way. Let me grab it real quick. This is Proverbs, right? 7, which that's really talking about wisdom, but we can apply it to women today. All right, these women that are harlots, right? So 11, it says, "She is loud and stubborn. Her feet abide not in her house. Now is she without, now in the streets, and lieth in wait at every corner." All right. So really, what we're going to use there is 11. She is loud and stubborn, and her feet abide not in the house. Yeah. So these women are very loud, right? They're very stubborn. Okay. And basically meaning that her feet abide not in her house, meaning that she will not be tender and delicate as a woman should be. right? It's a matter of fact, perfect scripture for that will be Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, right? Deuteronomy 28 and where's that at? 40, 56. And it says, the tender and delicate woman among you, which have not ventured to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness. You see, her eye shall be evil toward her husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter, and toward the young one that cometh out from between her feet. You see, which she shall bear, for she shall eat them in the want, for want of all things secretly in the siege and straitness, wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates. Yeah, and that's gonna happen in these last days, man. That's one of the forms that you women gonna be in trouble in, man. You're gonna eat your own children, right? As the scriptures say that the pitiful women have sodden their own children, right? They were their meat in the time of their destruction. You see. So a lot of you women have had, you know, kids on the unlawful beds, man. You know, committed out of made out of adultery. You see. So they just nothing but, you know, wickedness at the end of the day, right? As a matter of fact, perfect precept for that would be Wisdom of Solomon 4, and I'll get straight to the point. 6, it says, for children begotten of unlawful beds are witnesses of wickedness against their parents in their trial. You see, they're witnesses against their parents in their trial, man. All right. So again, most of these kids, all right, that's why you have, you know, they bring forth monsters. That's why we have a bunch of you know, those that are that let the multitude perish that are born in vain. Those children are born in vain, man. A lot of these children out here gonna die out here because the wickedness of their parents, man. They're gonna have to suffer for the things that their parents did, especially what these women have done. All right. And this is all going to lead to what I'm going to really talk about, because there's a new law that just came out that they're talking about how being ravished is going to be made legally. It's going to be a legal law. See, that right there puts you women in trouble, man. And that right there makes the scriptures faithful and true, because the scriptures say that you women going to be ravished out here in these last days, man. And now it makes even more sense, because this devil's bringing draconian laws, man. Harsh laws. Like, who allows that, right? But see, that goes to show you that Esau about to do you women dirty as hell, man, when you thought he was on your side and he really wasn't, right? So let me go back real quick, right? Matter of fact, let me read the brother had over here. He had a good one. Isaiah 4:1, which I'll grab that in a second, right? So going back to Isaiah 32, right? And let's take it from 3 again. It says, and the eyes of them that see shall not be dim, and the ears of them that hear shall hearken, right? The heart, all right, let me grab it from the NLT. Even the hotheads will be full of sense and understanding. Those who stammer will speak out plainly. In that day, ungodly fools will not be heroes. Scoundrels, all right, scoundrels will not be respected. Listen to this, right? It says, matter of fact, let me read it from the KJV. It makes more sense. The vile person shall be no more called liberal. Who's the vile person? The vile person is Esau, all right? Because the scriptures talk about how they were children of fools, right? They were viler than the earth, right? So it says, the vile person shall no more be called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. It says, for the vile person will speak villainly, and his heart will work iniquity to practice hypocrisy. You see? And that's what's going to happen in these last days. You women going to think that Esau really was on your side and that you were fully protected by him. But what's going to happen is he's going to show his true colors at the end, right? That's why it says that he will practice hypocrisy. He gonna be hypocrite. He gonna be a hypocrite unto you women. He used you for as long as he needed to, right? He used you for whatever he needed you to be used for, right? He used you to demonize the Israelite man, all right? But now, look, he about to put this law out that is gonna be legal for you women to get ravished, man. But I thought Esau had y'all back. You see? So that's him practicing that hypocrisy. He's gonna speak villainly, right? To be a villain, is to be what? Is to be the wicked. So he gonna speak like a villain. All right. It says, and to utter error against the Lord Yahweh, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. Right. So let's read that in NLT. It says from 5, it says, in that day, ungodly fools will not be heroes, scoundrels will not be respected, for fools speak foolishness and make evil plans. They practice ungodliness and spread false teachings about the Lord Yahweh. All right. And I don't like the way they're breaking it down, right? But it sounds better in the KJV, and I explained exactly what it really means, right? It says they practice ungodliness and spread false teachings about the Lord Yahweh. They deprive the hungry of food and give no water to the thirsty. And yeah, and that's going to literally happen out here in these last days, man. He going to starve you out. He going to starve you out. You ain't going to have no food. You ain't going to have no water. That's how he going to make you bow down to his society, right? Because once you can control those sources, right, you can control the minds of the people and pretty much make them do whatever you please, right? That's why you're going to go to them for the want of all things, right? And nakedness and hunger, right? So it says, continuing on, it says, the smooth tricks of the scoundrels are evil. Talking about Esau. They plot crooked schemes. They lie to convict the poor, even when the cause of the poor is just. But generous people plan to do what is generous, and they stand firm in their generosity. It says, listen, you women who lie around in ease. Listen to me, you who are so smug. All right. So the Lord's telling you to listen. How you going to listen? By the mouth of the prophets. All right. You're supposed to take heed to the message that the prophets are giving you. All right. Because that's your warning signs. That's pretty much the Lord speaking to you. No one can have a full conversation with the Lord face to face, man. Scriptures tell you in 1 Samuel 9:9, all right, when one went to inquire of the Lord, right, you have to go to the seer, which in today's time is called a prophet. So you have to listen to the prophets when you want to inquire of the Lord, right? It says, in a short time, just a little more than a year, you careless ones will suddenly begin to care. Yeah. And KJV says, many days and years shall ye be troubled. Yeah, we're no longer in the years. Okay. We're at the end of this thing. The Lord said that the number of his months are with thee. Right. So we only have months left. That's how you got to look at it. You can't look at it as we have decades, we have years. No, we have months. Right. So it says many days and years shall you be troubled. So we're now in the time of many days shall you be troubled, not many years. Okay. Because we only have a short period of time. See, these days are around the corner for you women. And those days are going to be many. Okay. Because when all said and done and this place falls apart, right? This ain't gonna be going on for 2-3 years. No, this is gonna be happening for days. Okay, that you're gonna be going through what, like the brother he put up many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter times walked in great pride. So many days you're gonna be in misery out here. All right, and when they give that law out, which it's in the process, right? This is where it's going to be game time for all these men that you disrespected, for all these men that you played out, right? That you was playing with their hearts and shit, all right? Which they were simp niggas anyway, but still, all right? Because all these games that you were playing, see, these men are going to get the spirit put on them to do you dirty out here, man. And they're going to do exactly what that law is basically allowing them to do. Is going to be to ravish you women. You see, they gonna toss you around like a beach ball. You're gonna be a doorknob. Everybody gonna take a turn, and it ain't gonna be your Chris Browns, your Trey Songz, your Ushers. You see, this is gonna be a bunch of niggas that you don't like, bunch of filthy, nasty ass niggas. Okay, ghetto ass pieces of shit. Right? You're gonna have these other niggas from all these other countries. You got the IDF joining with our people. What you think they're going to do out here, man? They're going to grab you and toss you around, you see? And it's not going to be pleasurable. It's not going to be in your favor, man. A lot of you women gonna wish you died, man. And the Lord gonna keep your asses alive because that's part of the great miseries that you're gonna have to suffer, man. You see? Scriptures talk about how they tried to seek death and they didn't find it. All right, which that's talked about in Revelations, the 9th chapter. And I was really talking about in the times of like World War I, right? People's legs were being blown off, people coming back with no arms and shit, and they were pretty much wishing that they had been, you know, put down, but hey, the Lord kept them up. So death fled from them. They shall seek death, but and not find it. Well, in these last days, you women, a lot of you women gonna seek death, right? And you're not gonna find it because it's all part of your trial, man. It's part of your punishment of being proudful. The Lord said that you're gonna feel it. As a matter of fact, let's continue to read, right? Arise, you women, rise up, you women that are at ease. Hear my voice, the voice of the prophets, you careless daughters, give ear unto my speech. Yeah, take heed to the word that's been given. Many days, all right, which we are in those days, and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the ventures shall fail. Yeah, everything that was helping you out, that was beneficial to you, is not going to help you anymore. You ain't going to be able to make money like you making in these last days, right? Right now, you women, a lot of you women is eating right now. A lot of you women, shit, I can even say a lot of you women is rich, all right, because of OnlyFans, right? Because all these programs, because you got like 7-10 baby daddies on child support and they all giving you money, right? You got all these welfare programs that are helping you get by. A lot of you women live in fucking houses that you only paying like $150, $200 a month for because you're going through a whole program, right? Of what's that shit called? Damn, it's in the tip of my tongue. It's a program where if you don't have you don't have a lot of money, they're able to help you out with it. Right. And I've heard some stories, people paying like $200-$300 a month, living in 3-bedroom houses and shit like that, man. While men out here struggling, some of us are homeless, you know, can't even get into a damn room. But you women like that get into a damn house. And a lot of you women just fucking lie just to get into that house. And who else knows what they're doing behind closed doors to get where they got to get to? Because that's the one thing that these women do. These women will do a lot of grimy shit behind closed doors to save their pride, man, at the end of the day. So best believe they sleeping with the landlords. They sleeping with all types of niggas, man, to get what they need. That's how you women roll out here. And that's why you women are at ease in these last days, man. Right? So it says, the vengeance shall fail. The gathering shall not come. Tremble, you women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. Yeah, the Lord wants you to be on a humbled state of mind, man. And that's what's going to happen in these last days, going to what the brother got right here, right? This is Isaiah 4:1 in the MSG, all right? Shit, I don't even know what the MSG is. Madison Square Garden, or is it what the Chinese people cook with? I never heard of that Bible, MSG, right? It says, that will be the, it says, that will be the day when 7 women will gang up on one man, saying, we will take care of ourselves. Yeah, all of a sudden, you women want to take care of yourselves, right? Here it is. You want men to take care of you completely. You want a bunch of simp niggas in your phone, right? You got about 10 of them niggas, right? One for food, one for clothing, you know, one to go out to the bar with, one to you know, bust your ass, basically, right? You have all these different men for different aspects, okay? But in that day, the Lord gonna humble y'all to the point where y'all gonna say, we will be able to provide for ourselves, man. You see? It says, get our own food and clothes. Yeah, a lot of you women gonna come into realization that you're gonna have to learn how to cook. If you don't know how to cook, you're gonna be beat out here. Because I know the men of the Lord ain't gonna deal with no women that don't know how to cook. We ain't gonna be in the spirit of trying to teach you how to cook in the midst of Jacob's trouble, man. Your ass better already know how to cook, right? So now y'all gonna have to come back to your true nature, your natural nurturing stages, man. being submissive again, your desire being onto a man, onto your husband. See, that's how the Lord gonna humble you in those days, man. It's no longer gonna be, all right, having that fun, you know, living it up, YOLO status. Nah, I ain't gonna be like that in those days. Anybody that's living in that type of mentality, right? Well, that's why these women gonna get ravished. That's what the Lord got in store for you, man. You see, going back to what the brother had put in, right? She that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth, right? It says, get our own food and clothes. Yeah, you women gonna go back to Proverbs 31 women, man. Your ass gonna learn how, well, if there's even time, you know, your ass might be caught up in the corner over there stitching up some clothes. Because remember, these devils are gonna come and spoil your houses. So you're gonna lose everything, right? The Lord said that, right? I will take away, let me grab that. Isaiah 3 and what is that? 20. Yeah, let's take it from 16. It says, moreover, the Lord Yahweh saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes. Yeah, these women walk around with that attitude, all right, twisting their neck back and forth, all right, like they twisted some damn fingers for some gang signs, right? It says, wanton eyes. These women's eyes are constantly wandering, you know, can't keep their eyes off a different type of men. They can have a whole man, a husband, and they still go look at another man, right? It says, walking and missing as they go and making a tinkling with their feet. Yeah, walking around, switching that ass, all right, for attention, basically, all right? It says, therefore, the Lord Yahushai will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion. Yeah, so a lot of you women are bald in these last days. Why? Because of the wickedness that you have spewed out, you see? So the Lord has discovered your secret parts. And what happens is the women's hair is their glory, but the Lord takes away your glory, takes away your hair, excuse me, your hair. That's why a lot of these women are bald and wearing wigs, man. And most of them come from the tribe of the southern kingdoms, man. You see, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, all right, especially the Judite woman, because she's the top tribe. So she's cursed the worst, going all the way back to Eve. You see, it says, and the Lord Yahweh will discover their secret parts. And that day, the Lord will take away. See, this is what the Lord is going to take away from you women, man. In that day, the Lord Yahushua will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet and their calls and their round tyrants like the moon, the chains, the bracelets, the mufflers, the bonnets, and the ornaments of the legs, the headbands, the tablets, the earrings, the rings, the nose jewels, changeable suits of apparel, right? Because you women have all types of clothing in your fucking closet, man. Y'all don't even wear half of that shit. Y'all wear it for one night and that's it, and then put that shit in the closet. Just like you have all these different types of shoes. And the mantles and the wimples and the crisping pins, the glasses and the fine linen and the hoods and the veils, yeah. You know, all that designer clothes, all that shit gonna be out the window. Ain't none of these women gonna be wearing short skirts and designer shit in the time of Jacob's trouble. You must be a damn fool to fucking, if you are trying to get dressed up and look good in the time of Jacob's trouble, yeah, that's just a bugged out demon. And that only just represents that the Lord's just preparing your ass to be ravished on a whole nother level, man. You see? Because in the time, why? Because that's you being discovered as a wicked ass woman. All right? For you brothers, easy red flag. You see a woman with wigs on and she ain't got no hair, don't even fucking deal with that woman, man, because the Lord already telling you, I done scalped her damn head for a reason because of her wickedness. You see? So I don't care how humble her ass try to come, all right? I'm already think that woman is off the hook because she done lost her glory. You see? So it's...
This is fucking crazy. What's crazier is the fact that women are not going crazy. Is the fact that military women... I'm shocked that the whole fucking United States is not on fire right now because of this shit. DOD reclassifies sexual assault as flirting under new policy. So a lot of things that are considered sexual assault, DOD has now reclassified it. So ladies in the military, you're about to find out what time it is.
And look, and they talk about the women in the military. See, y'all gonna be, and a lot of you women gonna go to war. That's another way that eventually from those women that are on war is also gonna happen to the women that are out here in Babylon the Great that's gonna be in the time of Jacob's trouble. All right, because not all these women gonna go to war. I mean, they're gonna try to round up as many as they can, but because of prophecy, right? Some is gonna be numbered by the sword, some is gonna be numbered by the famine, right? So you're gonna get, there's two ways you could get hit by the sword. You going to war and you also being caught up in the time of Jacob's trouble by martial law troops, by niggas that are on the streets. You know, it's gonna be a whole lot of
crazy.
And they are gonna sign up for that military because of beneficial reasons. You know, Esau gonna sweet talk them and make them feel like, all right, well, I'll give you this if you sign up. All right. 18 to 26 is automatically registered. Men and women, they've been telling you that shit for about a year and a half now. You see, and the shit is all right around the corner. See, these are all different signs and warnings that the Lord keeps giving you over and over and over again. And you women don't take it. He says, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with Yahweh. For it is written, these women coming in the wisdom of of Esau, of the world. That's why that wisdom's not going to be, it's not going to make you successful, you know? See, because the Lord deprived you from the wisdom that he has given you, that's why these women have taken on the wisdom of the world. They have no choice but to, you see, because they have no true wisdom, right? Prostituting, yeah, prostitution going to be a thing in those days, man. It's already a thing. You know, these women think because they're not literally on the street corner giving up that poom poom, all right, they think that they're not prostituting. But anything that you do for exchange of money is pretty much a form of prostitution, man. Whether it's you just trying to have a man, you know, sit down to give you some money to pay for your food, pay for your house, all of that, man, that shit is a form of prostitution. Because what happens is if that man increases that money, eventually you will give that man something, you see, in exchange. The problem is that you women know how to control the man with your little poom poom, you see. But to a real man, you're not going to be able to control him. All right, a real man going to look at you like straight scum of the earth, man. All right. Isaiah 13:16, it says, their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled and their wives ravished. You see? That's in the scriptures, man. The Lord telling you that you women going to be ravished. Your houses are going to be spoiled. And that's talking about, in that chapter is talking about how the Medes, how the Lord going to stir up the Medes. That's why I tell you, it's going to be a lot of these niggas from other countries. You're going to have a couple of these Russian ass niggas out here, UN troops and shit like that. That they love, they hate Americans, right? But these niggas love to look at you women, man. Because you women, all you women do is flaunt your bodies. All you women do is, you know, show no self-respect for yourselves. So that gives the leeway for a man not to have respect for you. You see? And that's why they're going to treat you with no respect in those days. Right? 2nd Ezra 9:22, let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain, and let my grape be kept for my plant. And my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect. Yeah, the elect has been made perfect, right? And we're going through the process of purification every day to be made, you know, to perfection. For when that day comes, right, we're a perfect sacrifice unto the Lord. But the rest of these people, yeah, the Lord not dealing with you, right? The Lord is letting you do wickedness after wickedness so your sins can reach onto heavens, man. All right, so when the time comes for your destruction, there's no and ifs and buts about it. The Lord's just going to completely destroy you because there was never no hope for you getting back on the right track. And again, that's going to be a lot of you women, right? MSG and GNT hit the best for Isaiah 4:1. Yeah, I got to look at what that MSG, what it means. Like GNT means the Good News Translation, but I don't know what the MSG means, right? Yeah, old men. Old men gonna be tripping out here. Oh my gosh, man. You know, like you really gotta like the elders always tell you, the apostles always tell you, man, you gotta vision these things, man. You have to really vision these things of what can happen, the scenarios that are going to happen, because people think about it, but they don't really go into deep detail. See, that's what the prophets are for. The prophets will give you deep detail through the spirit of what is coming, right? Because we can foresee these things, because we know how the judgment gonna come. All right, so we could put it into perspective. We can make a plain upon the tables for you to understand it. And through that type of detail that we give is really how we give the people the terror to persuade them back to the Lord. Because through the terror of the Lord is how we persuade men. All right, but none of you women are persuaded because you're so caught up in the fleshly life, right? That all you see is fun, fun, fun. All you think about is, you know, sin, 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 flesh, 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 right? The natural man can receive the things of the spirit because they're spiritually discerned. None of you women are spiritual. You're all based off emotion. You're all based off the flesh, living in the moment instead of preparing yourselves for what's to come, right? Shalom, sister. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Barakatah. Shalom, beloved. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Barakatah. I've seen a vid, Drake giving these wicked ass women cars, money, just for having a cat. Yeah, just for having a cat. Yeah, that's what these niggas is doing. Man, if you think that these niggas that have all this money is out here just getting it that easy, they not. Because really these women are slick. They know how to use they shit to their advantage, man. So they see a nigga with money, so that what they'll do is they'll play with that nigga. They'll play with that nigga mind, you know. They'll give him something real quick, right? He already sprung off of it. Okay, now this nigga giving all types of shit. And what she gonna do is she gonna keep getting as much as she can out of you until you come with the spirit of like, you know what, I ain't even fucking with you no more. It ain't even worth it. Okay. Now she comes and seduces you and gives you that seduction and sucks you right back into it. And she might give it to you better than she gave it to you the first time. You see? She might get a little freakier than she did the first time. That's what keeps you in the loop. Then she'll use you to the point to when you're about to leave again. Then she'll turn it up a notch. How the hell are you a millionaire, right? And you got to be giving these women all types of shit for their kitty, nigga. If I was a millionaire, man, bro, I had these women lick the dust off my feet for real, right? This is Isaiah 32:12. It says, "They shall lament for the teats and for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine." Yeah, they're gonna want. As a matter of fact, it tells you that in the NLT. It says, 1 second. In the NLT, it says, "Beat your breast in sorrow for your bountiful farms and your fruitful grape vines. For your land will be overgrown with thorns and briars and joyful homes. Happy towns will be gone." Yeah, you're gonna lose everything, man. Even the things that you did work for, you know, and these villages, all right, because these places that we live, they're considered as villages. They call neighborhoods now and hoods and shit, but they're really just villages. Yeah, you're gonna lose everything in your village, man. Everything that we have, all right, that you work so hard for is gonna be just stripped away from you in a matter of seconds and be brought to nothing. That's a great humbling within itself, right? Us being in this truth, some of us lose everything that we had, right? Just like Job did. Job had land, right? He had flocks of sheep and all types of animals, right? And it was stripped from him. You see, we live that same type of manner, being stripped from things that we have. We have to start all over, you know, as a test of our faith, right? But these women that have it all, that are eating good, that are at ease, when the time comes to Jacob's trouble, it's not going to be just taken away from you for a moment and given back to you. Nah, because you were supposed to be suffering with the Lord, right? To be able to maybe build something like that back up and get it back. But you wanted to have fun, so you're going to lose it all at one shot, and it's never going to come back, period. You see? You're not getting that back. You're never going to see that house again. You're never gonna see the good times anymore. Matter of fact, the brother got up the good old days. Yeah, you're not even gonna see the good old days no more, where you were prospering, you know, where you were successful, where you could sit down at the table and talk to your girls and be like, girl, I was getting this nigga here, getting them there. I was getting what I was. You ain't gonna have that talk no more. It's just gonna be a bunch of tears. You know, when you cry so much that the tears start running from your mouth, from your eyes, and they start running down your mouth. And as you're talking, the water's just hitting off your lips and shit, and it's spitting all over. But that's how you women gonna be in those last days, man. Like a little ass kid when he's trying to tell you something when he's in the midst of crying. You know, crying and the water just shooting everywhere. Because it ain't going to be just some regular tears. You women going to have some crazy tears on y'all, man. Days you shall be troubled. So that's going to be tears for days and days and days. And if you don't have the name of the Lord, there's going to be no mercy shown onto you at all. You know, it's just going to be one thing after another, right? Like the scriptures say, that's in what is that? Amos. Am I thinking about Amos? Amos 5 and yeah, 19. It says, as if a man, right? Let's take it from 18. It says, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord Yahweh. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord Yahweh is darkness and not light. As if a man did flee from a lion, and a bear met him and went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall, and a serpent bit him. You see? So you're going to be going after one thing after another, one thing after another, escaping from one thing, barely escaping, right? And you're going to come out of there hurt to go into another thing. So it's going to be a never-ending nightmare for you women in these last days, man. And now with all this shit added, matter of fact, I did a video, I want to say maybe about 3.5 years ago. I did a video. Let me see, as a matter of fact, if it still come up. I did a video on, in Africa, the rate of how many women were being ravished per day. Yo, that shit was crazy. It came down to like I think it was like 30 women every 5 hours are being ravished out there. Matter of fact, what's the rate of a woman being ravished? No, hold on. What's the probability of a woman being ravished in Africa right now?
There's no real-time probability for sexual assault in Africa. However, data indicates that many women experience violence. Roughly 1/3 experience sexual or physical intimate partner violence, and over 79 million girls and women in sub-Saharan Africa have experienced sexual assault.
Look at that shit. 33% of African women experiences sexual or physical intimate partner violence in their lives, and over 79 million girls and women in sub-Saharan Africa have experienced sexual assault. And that's not even what the numbers were, because the reason I did a video on it, because I came across a video. It was like a news channel from Africa, and they were literally saying like 30 women every fucking 5 hours was getting smashed and getting ravished, man. That's a crazy ass number. That's a crazy number, and that's in Hamite world. You see? Imagine how it's gonna be for you women that are Israelite women, man, that have walked around in ease and great pride in these last days, man. Those numbers gonna be off the charts. Too much to even be able to keep up with. Especially when all these things happen, you know, all at once. Look, the Lord chime on that. Yeah. That's gonna be like a normal thing to see in Babylon the Great. Gonna be walking down the street and women over there in the corner in the alley just getting straight ravished. You see that now, as a matter of fact. Women will get ravished and people watch. No one's there to help. No man is there to help. Man pulling out their phones and just watching and recording that shit. That shit crazy as hell to hear that, man. To see that. You see? Hey, Shalom, Sister Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Barakatah. On to you. Jeremiah 3:15, right? And it reads, and I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. Yeah. See, the Lord has given you men to feed you with the armor that you need, the ammo you need in these last days, man, to be prepared for what's to come, so you won't get caught by surprise. Right? Ecclesiastes 7:10, it says, never ask, oh, why were things so much better in the old days? It's not an intelligent question. Yeah. Because the scriptures talk about how horrible days are coming, man. You see? Days of agony, days of trouble. So why are you even asking or even thinking about the good old days, all right, when there's nothing but destruction coming, right? That's why it says a prudent man foreseeth the evil and he hideth himself. He gonna hide himself through these scriptures because he's redeeming the times, because the days are evil, man. You see? So it's very important in these last days, man, for you women to humble yourselves now, so you don't get humbled by Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, man, because that's what's going to happen. The Lord going to humble you. And if the Lord has to humble you, it's going to be in a horrible manner, man. It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. You see? So you rather humble yourselves now in the name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, so he can spare you and show you mercy in that day and set you up with a man, all right, to be that hiding place from the wind, instead of being caught up, all right, and all this drama that's about to come upon these women, man. That shit heavy, man. Just when I heard that shit today, I was like, yo, them scriptures is faithful and true, because the Lord is bringing it out. Even, hey, sometimes the Lord don't even bring something out through his men. He'll bring it out through the world. And that's a way of it showing right there. You know, them telling you that it's going to be, all right, that nigga that said that wasn't no man of the Lord, right? But he's telling you what he came across, how they're going to try to make this, how it's going to be a law of, that is just what is it they said? It's all considered flirting if you ravish a woman. That's scary right there, you know? But that's what's coming to you women. Hard times, tough times, right? The Lord said perilous times shall come in those last days. Dangerous times, man. That's dangerous. That's dangerous like crazy right there, man. To hear that a woman could be ravished and you'll be able to get away with it with no problem, you know? So I'm gonna leave you there through the spirit, Lord willing that you will edify. So with that being said, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Haloyim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachach Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered abroad. The Akim and the Akwat that was listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing that the lesson was edified. To the next one, Shalom. Keep fighting the good fight of faith. Enduring as good soldiers of Yahweh Shai. The water for the scriptures, brothers. The water for tuning in. You sisters, the water for tuning in. Also, keep learning. All right, in silence as you continue to do. All right, and may Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai be upon your households and be there with a divine protection as always. All right, in these last days, showing mercy in the day of his wrath. All right, stay prayed up. All right, tough times is coming. All right, but hey, the Lord gonna have our back, you know. But these are the things that we're gonna see with our own eyes to show you the judgment of the Lord, man. To put more fear and more, and to make us supplicate more onto the Lord in those days, man. When you see people out here dropping like flies, death all over the street, you know, bodies laying out and people crying and misery and people starving, people getting ravished, man, listen, because even women, it ain't just gonna be women that get ravished. You're gonna see a lot of these fucking homo ass niggas out here getting ravished too, in some fucked up ways, man, because of their wickedness and shit like that, man. So the Lord is gonna put a certain spirit, all right, on this earth that's just gonna be of just straight death, you know, and horrific manners, man, to continually put, you know, fear in us, man, all the way to the end. You know, that's what's gonna make us endure. Keep calling on the name of the Lord, man. You see? So, hey, Lord willing, it was edifying. So with that being said, Shalom, Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai Barakatah.